Okay, so hi guys, going through the straight line homework that you've had. Okay, so the first question we've got is find the equation of these straight lines. There's part A and a part B. Part B is on the next slide. Don't have enough space, but that's alright. So, to find the equation of a straight line, the first thing we always need to do is find the gradient. If we're given the gradient, great, we just use it. If not, we find the gradient, and to do that we use the equation m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we need, for that we need two coordinates which we call x1, y1 and x2, y2. Okay, once we've got the gradient we use y minus b equals mx minus a. Okay, so we've got all the things we need there, so let's get going with this one. So we've got our line. I've drawn it out. It's the same as it is in your homework sheet. So we just need to find the gradient, we need two coordinate points. So we pick 2 points on the line. Don't pick one kind of here, because that's quite close to 2, but it's at a half and we don't like working with half. So the best thing to do would be to pick here, because at 1 we're at 3, so one coordinate point we've got is 1, 3. Okay, and another one would be here, so we've got 3 and we've got 7. So we can have 3, 7. Okay, don't worry if you've picked different coordinate points, that's not a problem. You should get the same answer anyway. Like, your gradient should be the same no matter which 2 points you pick, as long as they're on the line. Right, so we find the gradient. So m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And remember, you don't get given this, so you have to remember this equation. So we'll call this one x2, y2, and this one x1, y1. So we've got y2, which is 7, take away y1, which is 3. We've got x2, which is 3, take away x1, which is 1. So we've got 7 take away 3, which is 4. We've got 3 take away 1, which is 2. So we've got 4 divided by 2, so our gradient m is 2. So now we use this equation. So we use y minus b equals m of x minus a. So for this we need a coordinate point. We need to call AB. It's easiest to just use the smallest one we've got. So we'll use this one. And that's our A and our B. Remember, it's always alphabetical. X comes before Y. A comes before B. So we have y take away 3 is equal to 2 x take away 1. So then we multiply our brackets. So we have y minus 3, and then we multiply the brackets on this side. So we get 2x take away 2. And then we have to add 3 to both sides. So you get y is equal to 2x, and then we've got minus 2, add 3, which is plus 1. Okay, so that's question 1 all done. Here we go. That's our answer. Okay, so part B, instructions are the same. So the first thing we need to do is pick 2 points on our line. So, easy one to pick here. At 0, we've got minus 2. So we've got our first one, which is at 0, it's minus 2. And then our second one, we can pick at 1, we've got 1. So we've got 0 minus 2, and we have 1, 1. The points can be close together, or if really far apart, it doesn't matter. You should get the same gradient either way. Right, so the gradient m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we, again, x2, y2, x1, y1. So we're going to get 1 take away minus 2. And then on the bottom we've got 1 take away 0. So 1 take away minus 2 is 1 add 2, so that's 3. And on the bottom we've got 1 take away 0, so that's just 1, so it's 3 over 1. So we can just leave it as the 3 like that. So now y minus b equals mx minus a. Right, we'll use the first point, so we've got 0 and we've got minus 2. And that's our a and our b. So we're going to get y take away minus 2 is equal to 3, and then it's going to be x take away 0. So we have y plus 2 is equal to, we know that that 0 is going to go away, so we'll just get 3x. So we want it in the form y equals mx plus c, so we take away 2 from both sides. So this side we just get left with a y, this side we've still got our 3x, we've got no number to take it away from, so it's just like it's got a 0 there. So we take away the 2, so just take away 2. So our final answer for this, the equation for that line, is y equals 3x take away 2. Okay, question 2. We have to draw an accurate graph of each of these straight lines. So we've got y, not even, we've got x plus y equals 8, and we've got x equals 5. And then for part B, we have to write down the coordinates of the point of intersection of these two lines. Okay, so bear with me here. I don't have a tool in here that I can draw lines with, so I'm using a ruler on my iPad. So it might be a bit troublesome, but we'll get there eventually, hopefully. So part AI, so A part 1, we have to draw x plus y equals 8. So rearrange it to have y equals mx plus c in that kind of order. So to do that, we want to take away x from both sides. So we get y is equal to minus 8, no, not minus 8, minus x plus 8, because we've taken x away, so we get minus x plus 8. Right, so we know that to draw our graph we need some points on our line, so we pick our x's and we find our y's. So pick 0, 1, 2, 3 as per usual. So when x is 0, we put 0 into here, so we get negative 0, that's just 0, plus 8, so that's just 8. Then we take our 1 and we put it into here, so we get y equals minus 1 plus 8, so that is 7. And then the next one we get minus 2 plus 8, so that's 6, and then we get minus 3 plus 8, so that's 5. Right, so let's get on to drawing the graph. This is where things might get a bit interesting. So we draw our axes. Might be a bit too big, I don't know. Right, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll do, we'll just keep going. Won't number it all the way that we need it to. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That was good. Right, so I'm going to use a different colour here to make it a wee bit more obvious. So at 0, we've got 8, so we draw a little cross. At 1, we've got 7, so we draw a little cross. At 2, we're at 6, so we draw a little cross. And at 3, we're at 5, so we draw a little cross. So we've got our lines. Remember what I was saying about what we do is we put our ruler through those points, and then we draw a line starting up and going kind of as far as we can. So there we've got our line. That's a wee bit longer, it's a wee bit squiffy at the end, but that's fine. Okay, so that is our line, and that is x plus y equals 8. Okay, right, so for part B, or part 2 of A even, A part 2, we have to draw x equals 5. Okay, so this one should be easy, we can go straight into drawing this one. Right, so here we go. So what do we know about the line x equals 5? What we know is that no matter what, x is always 5. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether our y value is 1 or 51, x is always 5. So our line is going to be at 1, x is 5, at 2, x is 5, at y is 3, x is 5, like x is always, always, always 5. So it's just a vertical line through the point 5. So that's our line x equals 5. Okay, so for part B, because we've been good and we've drawn our lines long and not just joining up the points, we're looking for the point of intersection. So where those two lines meet, so we call that the point of intersection. We kind of put that down to P dot O dot I, and that's going to be equal to, and we need our coordinate. So we know that the x has got to be 5 because this line only goes through x equals 5. So it's not going to go and meet that other line somewhere where x is 2, is it? So we know that the x has got to be 5. And then we can look at our line here. We've got here, so I went up to 5. When we get to 5, we get y is 3. So that line, that point there, has to be where those two lines meet. We could solve this using simultaneous equations also, but because we've got our graphs, we can do it that way. Okay, so that's question 2 done. On to question 3. Right, question 3. We have our points. We have to find the equation of these lines. We're going to get fed up of these, doing so many of them. So we've got 0, 3, and we've got 6, 15. First step, always find the gradient. So we need our x2, our y2, our x1, and our y1. So gradient m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we've got 15 take away 3 over 6 take away 0. So 15 take away 3 is 12, and then we've got 6 on the bottom because it's 6 take away 0. So our gradient is 12 divided by 6, which is 2. And then we use our equation, y minus b equals mx minus a. The amount of times I'm saying this and the amount of times you're using it, don't think you're going to forget it ever again. Okay, so we can use the 0, 3, and that's our a and our b. So we're going to get y take away 3 is equal to 2, x take away 0. So again, we get y take away 3 equals 2x. So we add 3 to both sides, and we get y is equal to 2x plus 3. And that's the equation of that line. Right, now part 2. Keep going, so we use our points. Repeating myself again, but we're fine, we'll just keep doing it. And keep doing it until we get them all done. Right, so we've got x2, y2, we've got x1, we've got y1. Again, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is 0 take away 3 over 6 take away 0. So we get minus 3 on the top and we get 6 on the bottom. And when we divide a negative by a positive, our answer is negative, and then 3 divided by 6 is a half. So we've got y minus b equals m of x minus a. Okay, so let's use our 6, 0. So then we're going to get y take away 0 equals negative a half times by x take away 6. So then y take away 0 is just y, and we've got negative a half times x, which is, wait a second, it is negative a half x. And then we've got negative a half times negative 6. So if you've got a negative times a negative, your answer is positive. And a half times 6 is 3. So our equation of our line there, so we get y equals negative a half x plus 3. And we can kind of check these, because that 3 is our y-intercept, isn't it? Because y equals mx plus c, c is our y-intercept. So that should be where it crosses the y-axis. And that's kind of what it is. But, just notice there, this time we've got p and we have t. So instead of x, so that's not actually our answer. We need to keep going. So instead of y, you've got p. And then the rest stays the same, a half. And instead of x, you've got t. And then you've got the plus 3. So that's our actual final answer, not this one here. Yeah, so this is our final answer once we've changed our letters, because you can see we've got a t and a p on our axis, not an x and a y like we've got on this one. But you just work through the entire question like you would normally with your x's and y's, and then right at the end you change it. Right, so question 4, a straight line passes through the points 5, 0 and 11, 3. Find the equation of the line in the form y equals mx plus c. I feel like a broken record, but I'll keep going. Again, first thing we need to do is find the gradient. So we need the points. We've got 5, 0 and we've got 11, 3. So we've got our x2 and our y2, we've got our x1 and our y1. So m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is 3 take away 0. Then on the bottom we've got 11 take away 5. So we get 3 on the top, we get 6 on the bottom, so it is a half. And then we use the formula y minus b equals mx minus a. It's always kind of best or easiest to use one that's got a 0 in it, so we use the 5 and the 0, so a and our b, and substitute in, so we get y, take away 0, well, it's just y, and then we've got a half, and then we've got x, take away 5, multiply our bracket, we get y is equal to a half times x, it's just a half x, minus 5 times a half, which is 5 halves, and that's us. Okay, so on to question 5. Right, so question 5, same as question 1, I've kind of split it into 2 separate pages, so we've got the space. So we need to pick 2 points on our line. We need to pick our x1, our y1, our x2, and our y2. So if we look at our line, at 1, well, at 0, we're at 5, so that could be our first one. And then at 1, that's as easy as anything, we're at 7. So we've got 0, 5, we have 1, 7. Again, reminder, you can pick different points, but your gradient should always come out the same. So we've got m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Are you fed up with me saying it over and over again yet? So y2 is 7, y1 is 5. x2 is 1, y1 is 0. So we get 7 take away 5, which is 2, and then on the bottom we just have 1, so our m is 2. So then we have y minus b equals m of x minus a. Again, pick our a and our b, and this time I'm going to pick 0, 5, so that's ab equals 0, 5. So we get y take away 5 equals 2. And then here, because that's 0, it's just going to be 2x. So we add 5 to both sides. And we get y is equal to 2x plus 5. Again, double check that we've got it right. If we look, that plus 5 is our y-intercept, isn't it? And it's intercepting the y-axis at 5, so we're good. Okay, so part B coming up. Part B, looking at this, we should be able to see that this is going to have a negative gradient, so if we don't get one, we've done something wrong. So again, we need our x1, our y1, and our x2 and our y2, and our y2, yep. So if we look at this, at 0, we're at 8. So we have 0, 8, and then we've got, this one's as easy as any, not what I meant to do. Down here, we've got, at 4, we're at 0. So we've got 4, 0. Again, doesn't matter what point you pick, as long as it's on the line. That's all that matters. Like, you can't pick 1, 4. That's not on the line. You have to pick, if you pick 1, you have to find where the line is and go there. Okay, that's all that matters, is it has to be kind of where 2 axis lines meet. So, again, repeating, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we've got 0 take away 8 over 4 take away 0. So on the top, 0 take away 8 is minus 8. the bottom we've got 4 take away 0, which is 4. If we've got a negative divided by a positive, our answer is negative, and then 8 divided by 4 is 2. So our m is minus 2. So then, again, keep going, same process every time. Y and minus b equals m of x minus a. So let's use our 4, 0. So that's our a and our b. So we get y minus 0, so it's just y, is equal to minus 2 times x minus 4. So we multiply out our bracket. So we get y, and then it's equal to minus 2 times x is minus 2. Minus 2 times minus 4, and negative times negative makes a positive, and I forgot my x. Positive, and then 2 times 4 is 8. So we get negative 2x plus 8, and we can tell negative gradient, because it's going down the way, plus 8. It's at 8 here, so we're good. Right, on to the last question, question 6. Right, so question 6. We have to find the equation of each of these straight lines. Are you seeing a pattern yet? Right, so we need 2 points. So we've got 0, 1, and we've got 2, 7, which is given to us on the diagram. That's our x2, y2, and our x1, y1. So m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we've got 7 take away 1 divided by 2 take away 0. So we've got 6 on the top, we've got 2 on the bottom, so our gradient is 3. So we've got y minus b equals mx minus a. Let's use our 0, 1. So we get y take away 1, because that's our a, that's our b, equals 3x. Because when that's 0, just goes away, that bracket's just an x. There we go. Have to add 1 to both sides, so we get y is equal to 3x plus 1. And again, as we can see, plus 1 crosses at 1, so we're good. Makes sense. Okay, so we've got 0, we've got minus 8, we've got 4, and we have 0. x2, y2 for that one, x1, y1 for this one. Okay, so we have m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we've got 0 take away minus 8, and then we've got 4 take away 0. So on the top, taking away a negative is the same as adding, so we have 8. On the bottom we've got 4 take away 0, which is 4. So our m is just 2. And then let's pick our 4, 0. So that's our a and our b. So we have y minus b equals m of x minus a. So y and b is 0, so it just goes away, and then we get our 2, and we get x minus 4. So we get y is equal to, and then we multiply our brackets, 2 times x, which is 2x, and then 2 times minus 4, which is minus 8. Again, look, this is our y-intercept, minus 8. Oh look, it's going through minus 8. So we're fine. Okay, so hopefully this has helped you through this homework, and by now you should know your formulas for gradient and your formula for a straight line. Hopefully you've done well on this. Leave a comment if you need some help or ask in class, obviously. Good, thanks for watching, and thank you for being an awesome class this year, guys.